What is up, you guys? I'm Raspreet Gill, and this right here is the Citroen C5 Aircross SUV. And doesn't it look like a little baby rhino? Well, that's exactly the way Citroen designed it to be. Tame but rugged whenever you desire, while keeping you in mighty, mighty levels of comfort. All I do is just simply swipe my foot underneath it, and you notice it just simply opens up. Voila! This is probably the deepest center armrest I've ever seen. Probably one of those few middle seats that are actually so damn comfortable to be in. Incredible commanding position. Like it just makes me feel like I'm sitting on top of this rhino. And you take a look at that red dot that's coming right there in the middle. That's a blind spot monitoring system. You've got to feel as though you're moving on a flying carpet. Overall, it's a very enjoyable drive, and I feel it's pretty much ahead of its competition. Front and center, we have our double chevron Citroen logo that was designed by the founder himself, André Citroen. While he was designing helical gears that had V-shaped teeth, he slapped those V-shaped teeth of those gears to formulate the Citroen logo, which is what this is. Now they louver across this way. DRLs right out here. You notice they even double up as our turn indicators. We've got a little bit of a snazzy little split design, slim as ever. Right down below there, we have our tri-projector LED headlamps. They just simply skedaddle across this way, and you have a little bit of more modular elements in chrome here, just simply leading in some much needed airflow for this diesel guzzler right here. Down we have this red accented 360 surround, but there's nothing really open. It's all just simply shut. In the corner, we have these adaptive fog lamps that turn as you turn. In the middle, we have a little bit of opening that gives more airflow to that intercooler right there. And then when you move across, we have another little bit of an inlet, which is shut. So there's nothing aerodynamically going on out here. And you take a look at the front, it's a little bit of that fluffy, cushiony design that's going along with it. The bumpers have their bulges. Not really bulbous, but it's pretty much welcoming. That's the way I'd actually term it. So while you're walking towards your car, it's literally calling you towards it and not looking at you with a grumpy stare. And that is a 2-liter diesel that produces 177 PS of power, 400 Newton meters of torque, and it's a grunty one. We have 18-inch diamond cut dual-tone alloys as standard across the variants on the C5. We even have more of this cladding down here, and we get that 360 red insert as we saw at the front, which continues on the side panel. So the moment you open it, it actually opens along with the door. So that's the whole scene. And now when you take a look here, it's all clean. So there's no way you're going to be dirtying your pants or whatever when you step into this car. And my roof rails, you just take a look at this futuristic concept art here. It's a fancy looking roof rail, isn't it? The dual tone finish of the roof being in black, my wing mirrors as well get the black treatment. Now you take a look at this entire side profile, you again realize the car's a softie. It really looks cubby. The dual tone glides really well into this rear glass out here, along with your windscreen wiper. Now my brake lights, they're totally LED, and they have these 3D elements embedded right in them. They look really cool when they're on. Got your C5 Aircross badge there. Another blacked out inlet which is shut. We've got a diffuser right here at the back, and an inlet out here which is again shut. It's garnished in chrome, but your exhausts are not there. Your exhausts are underneath it. Now to open the boot, my hands are full. All I do is just simply swipe my foot underneath it, and you notice it just simply opens up. Voila! And I could just dump in whatever I have with almost a flat lip floor right out here, which is another great thing. Now this right here is 580 liters of boot space. Seats, if you slide them ahead, it opens up to 720 liters. And if I actually fold those seats, it goes all the way up to 1630 liters of boot space. I have a little bit of a hatch out here and here, as well as a nice 12-volt charging socket out there if you want to charge your cooler or something at the back end. Underneath, I even get a full-size spare wheel. Get this down and shut the boot. All I do is just press this button and it makes its way shut. And these seats, yeah, really comfortable. Only the driver's seat is electrically adjustable. It does come with lumbar support. Weirdly, someone at the back would have to adjust that. They have this kind of a checkered leatherette finish matched up with some cloth as well, and it's all a grayed out cabin right here. It's a little bit of a dark grey and a light grey finishing, stitching across the dash here, but then you have a little bit of rough patch in the middle. A little bit of stitching along here on the passenger side for the glove region as well. Down there, it's again scratchy and rough. But the headliner, it's beiged out. It's the amount of visibility that's just flooding into the cabin. Yes, the panoramic sunroof is massive and it's flooding the cabin with a lot of light, but so are these massive window panes along this side, the front out there. As for the storage spaces, I can see plenty. I have a hatch out here, USB charging port there, 12-volt charging socket as well there. Another little bit of a storage compartment here, a couple of cup holders, adjustable center armrest. Whoa. This is probably the deepest center armrest I've ever seen. I mean, I think it's surely going to even house up a 1 liter bottle. Wait a minute. I think it'll even take in a 1.5 liter bottle. That's how deep this is. I don't know what have they done. It's just literally caved right in. That is how deep it is. It separates the driver from the passenger. That's the entire layout. The gear lever as well. It's a nice little leatherette finish across it. Looks like a dolphin that's coming out. Speaking of the other storage spaces, the glove region opens up. It's really deep in. So now I have a little bit of a flat bottom, fully leather stitched steering wheel. And it has manually adjustable reach as well as raking. So you get a good comfortable position with it. You have your multi-function buttons on this side that control this 12-inch digital instrument cluster at the back. My double chevron logo right here. And it's all a bit of a soft touch finish. A little bit of a glossy finish out there as well. My cruise control settings are right down here, as well as my speed limiting options. Massive paddle shifters at the back of it that look pretty useful. Now my 12-inch driver's instrument cluster, it's simple, it's clutter-free, it's no nonsense really. So the moment you move to these menus, now this mode that we're in is the personal mode, which gives you your radio or media information on the left side. That's also customizable through the infotainment system. Then you get your driving details out here, your speedometer in the middle, as well as the RPM to cap it off right on top. You have 3 options out here that says dials, minimum, and personal. Into the dials mode. And what dials does is get a bit of this animation flowing, and then right there we get our speedometer, the RPM on top, driving details out here. And then eventually we have one last setting, which is the minimum setting. It gives you absolutely the most minimalistic view. Now my front AC vents, they're totally split. They have the split finish 360 surround. They enclose our 8-inch touchscreen panel, which even shows up for our AC buttons right out here. That's a bit of a downer because knobs and physical buttons are way better than just having that. Go to your vehicle settings. On comfort, here's where you get some in-depth features. So you've got your mood lighting as well. Pretty much limited to a single shade. You can actually adjust the brightness level of it, and it drops from the top there as well as along the cup holders at the bottom. You get your music information out here. Now this system supports Android Auto, CarPlay, Bluetooth, your radio, but Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are via cable only. In terms of touch response and stuff, it's okayish. It's really not the one thing that you're going to be looking at so much because it could have been better. That's all I could say. I also have my door lock button out here. You notice how that lights up in red? And then I have my auto start stop button right out there. Ding that down, and yep. My gear lever, it's an 8-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. You've got an unlock button out here to operate it. You click this and then you drag it all the way up. You're back in a reverse. Camera that's turned on, and it's got dynamic guidelines twisting either way. And this right here is a 360 view, but it actually maps what the rear view camera is actually seeing. And you can switch it up to a 180 view as well. Down here I have an electric parking brake. Right up here is a seatbelt indicator, and it's for every single seat in this car. So it actually indicates 5 occupants. What's cool is you can open the boot from inside the car. And what's even more cooler is shutting it from inside too. And it makes its way down shut. And the rear seats in the C5, the modular design continues all over. 3 individual seats is what I can see, and a totally flat floor with no real transmission tunnel in the middle. enables us for one thing, isn't it? Carrying 3 at the back in utmost comfort. Let's hop right in. Shut this door. That same door handle third. I have a little pull tab. This is for the middle seat. Mine's on this side. And you notice I can recline myself. Front seat's in my position. I'm 5'10" and a half. And I've got ample leg room. I can actually take my feet all the way up till there. Under thigh support as well is good. Headroom. Yeah, even if I'm shoved right here, if there was somebody sitting here, maybe my head would be touching on the corner, but otherwise it's excellent. It's absolutely brilliant. Now if I hobble across in the middle seat, yeah, this is only or probably one of those few middle seats that are actually so damn comfortable to be in, because you've got excellent visibility and you're comfortable because this is your individual seat. You can slide it forward or take it backwards, and then of course pull this pull tab and recline it as well. Long distances or short, whatever it is, you're going to be absolutely comfortable in this. Now you notice this pull tab out here, which actually acts as the one pull for reclining or folding. It's what it does now, really. Now if you just simply shut this downwards, there you go. You want to store something, you could absolutely do that. Now each of these seats are individually foldable, so you could decide whatever you want to fold, because there's no restrictions whatsoever. Right down here I have a couple of AC vents. There's no temperature control. 2-zone that's in the front. A single USB type A port down there. And the door panels out here, they have this nice little hole when you want to shut the door or whatever. But then you have a little bit of a grainy plastic out here which scratches. There's no sunshade that comes in at the back end. That's something I really like having in cars. Nice little heavy bottle hatch out here. House up that 1 liter bottle that we had in the front. There you go, it just simply fits in. For us, one of our 6 speakers fitting right here for the sound system in the car. And without further ado, let's get out of this rear seat, step into the driver's and take off. The car has this really high driving position. I mean, the steering wheel as well, it sits snug, right about the right height. So you're not really stretching over, bending your wrists or anything, but in terms of visibility, you're right up at that point where you really want to be. And in terms of city traffic or the highway, wherever you are, it really puts you in a top commanding position. There's really a lot that goes on to make a SUV comfortable, and the seats are an essential part that actually make your long distance journeys less tiresome. So the city maneuverability, it's taken me by such surprise. The vehicle has its size, but you can still amicably move around, make a little bit of swaying movement around the traffic and get your way out of there. And that's all while it's an SUV. The driving modes, we've got a normal driving mode which we're in right now, and then we slide across to the eco mode, which is right down here. So when you select it, you got to hold it for a bit and then it gets activated. Tries to improve the mileage, which is already good on this 2 liter diesel. We're expecting about 18 km per liter, which is the claimed average. And the eco mode helps you get there. But now in terms of the throttle response and stuff, you don't really notice as much has changed or whatever. Speed breakers and stuff, you never even need to think about them. Now it's got 230 millimeters of ground clearance, this car. Have everybody sitting inside, I'm talking about 5 people, you're still going to be clear of everything, the highest of high speed breakers. Steering wheel, it pretty much stays the same, even if you put it into eco or sport. Those modes, they don't really do that much, but it's a nice light steering. You can't really expect too much of feedback or whatever, but the lightness, it's just effortless to move around, and that's where it wins. But when you floor it down, this diesel engine grunt that comes in, there's a lot of that coming into the cabin. As for road noise and stuff that's out there, it's got these acoustically glazed windows, and so road noise, tire noise, the world outside, you're cut out of it. This is your zone. So the car suspension now, it has this hydraulic cushioning, which in turn really controls all bumps and stuff, and it just simply swallows it up. You don't really feel that, and that's the one thing I desire the most when I'm seated in an SUV, is that I don't want to hear or feel these thumps while I'm moving in my vehicle. Citroen has their theme behind this car that you've got to feel as though you're moving on a flying carpet, just cruising along, and that's just the way this car makes you feel that hydraulic cushioning is something that's an added bit to the suspension that really improves the ride quality. It does give you that feeling of body roll because it is so cushy. Throwing it into corners and stuff, you wouldn't really want to do that. The 8-speed gearbox as well, it shifts gears, but you do get that bit of rubber band effect that does creep in the start. Other than that, you don't really notice that shifting taking place, so there's no kind of jerks or imperfections that you notice because of the gearbox at all. See that it knows when you just simply dip it down that way, it holds that gear, it'll take you across the RPM range, taking you close to the 4.5 to 5,000 mark. While we're in the sport mode, yeah, the diesel grunt is what comes in, but it has good pull, that 177 PS of power, you feel it. You just simply feel it surge again. And you take a look at that red dot that's coming right there in the mirror, it shows you that there's actually a vehicle on that side. That's a blind spot monitoring system, which is fantastic. Now I even have my paddle shifters that are right at the back. The size of these really tell you that yeah, they want you to use them and get in extra control. The real deal, your kind of sport mode. But as for off-roading, I really don't know how many of us pick up a SUV today in the premium segment and then actually do decide to make it dirty and take it off-road. But this car, for that added bit, it does give you that grip control with the sand, mud, snow, slippery conditions. It's got it right here as well. But then again, yes, it's a front-wheel drive. And I've said it in the past, but front-wheel drive can be fun. And that's pretty much how it is. This car is fun to drive. This vehicle also comes with an auto park assist that takes a bit of time to find parallel or perpendicular parking. And to be honest, it really needs improving. So this was the C5 Aircross. It's perfectly the perfect SUV that you'll ever need. Citroen have made their stamp in India and I certainly hope they continue with this. No doubt the C5 is on the pricier end of the spectrum, but it's coming with all the baggage that you'll ever need. The ride comfort, the handling, and all of those abilities that you desire from an SUV to have to crush every single pothole. This delivers in all those departments. I'm Raspreet Gill and I thank PPS Motors at Andheri for giving me this opportunity to let you guys experience, and myself too, the C5 Aircross. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all for the next one.